time. Good morning on this lovely Saturday morning during the holiday season. It's great. My name is Julie Bechtold. I am the artistic and vocal director for the show. So if you want to advance the slide, we're going to do some introductions. Thank you so much for being here. On behalf of your children, I am thanking you. I hope they thank you too. Thank you for getting them to auditions and supporting them through all this and grades and all that good stuff. So we appreciate all of your time. And we're a team now, so we're going to move together forward into the future and have an awesome show. Our choreographer is Courtney Larkin. She's an alum of Athena. She actually did the middle school shows when she was in middle school. Our choral director is Crystal Robinson. She's advancing her slides today. People who are not here, the orchestra director, Brian King, he is the high school band director. He's busy getting ready for Les Mis, and I'll plug that shortly as well. And then my assistant, Kelly Larkin, is in the audience right there, and she is invaluable, priceless, I tell you. Okay, so here's why we do this. We do this lovely thing every year. It provides the kids with an opportunity to do some community service. It's an extracurricular opportunity. And then, of course, all the stuff that goes with it. They're creating, they're building, they're having fun. And she dropped her phone. Okay. And, of course, they're going to work hard. So that's all great. The expectations that you can expect from us, and we're going to do a lot of communications. You're going to see a lot of emails. We're apologizing in advance. But that's how we work it, so you need to keep up with those things. It's sort of like paying your bills every month, but it's like an everyday thing, especially when it gets close to the show. Top-notch expertise. A lot of us have been doing this for a few years now, or decades. We really care about your kids, and we would like to be able to nurture them along. So things outside of regular stuff for the show that we care about with your kids is their well-being. In all ways, and of course they're going to hear it from us about grades and keeping up with their academics as well. So we're pretty strict on them, but we really do love them. And I think they know that too. High expectations, and you are just going to be thrilled with what your kids will be able to do collectively between the beginning of rehearsals, which is right after Christmas. We'll give all that out to you later. And the show itself. So in a few months' time, it's amazing what you see up here on stage. And that's not with the help of a lot of people who are backstage doing all the work, including yourself. So here we go. The expectations that we have for you. The list is longer, it's a little scary. But we cannot put this together without everybody's help in some way. Big, small, medium, whatever. The good news, you have to volunteer. You have to volunteer in some way. The good news is that there's a gazillion different things to do, and it's big or small. Please support your child academically, not that you don't. Continue that, be on them about homework. Communicate to us, to your children, talk, and check your email, like I said, daily. The website, too. That's up and running and ready to go. And, did we mention communicate? Yeah. We'll be doing that a lot. Talking is a good thing. The kids have to keep their grades up. That's a big, 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 huge thing because there's this thing called the district policy that I am under. I have to give out runaround sheets to kids who have 1 F or 2 Fs. 3, you're out. I got to kick them out at 3. So this next marking period that's coming up, at the end of January, beginning of February, that's when it counts. Not so much for 5 weeks, but we're still looking. 5 weeks we're looking, and it's just a snapshot of how they're doing second quarter. But by the time 10 weeks hits, that's a grade that I am bound to. So that's why we like to do the 5-week checks. So we're like, hey, how you doing in science or whatever? They need to check the rehearsal schedule. You guys need to check that too. So we put out about a 2 to 3 week rehearsal schedule, and the reason that is because there are times when we're working on a particular scene, and maybe they're all good. They're good. We don't need to see them for a little while. but this one other scene, we need to work it a little bit more. So we switch things out, and because of dance and all the other lovely things that is going on in your children's lives with sports as well, we try to rotate these rehearsals, especially on Saturdays. I'm going to stop and give Courtney a chance to talk because I just realized she wanted to go first. So come on up and say anything about dance.
Pretty much Julie just said it with the rotating of the schedules. So when we have rehearsals, because a lot of the students have sports or dance, they're not always going to be at the same time. So if they miss one, then they're going to make sure that we catch them up on the next one. We also post the videos online, just like what we did for auditions, so students have the opportunity to practice them at home. So that's pretty much all it is for dance.
Thank you very much. Yes, children, you must be respectful, responsible, and productive. Behaviors, expectation as well, not just in school, but this is an extracurricular activity, and then they're going to have fun on stage. And I know I'm talking to parents, but I wanted to let you know that your kids have expectations as well. Continuation with your lovely list. Sounds scary, doesn't it? You have a form inside of your parent handbook, which if you did not get a parent handbook, they're back on the stands in 3 separate locations. Feel free to get out of your seat now if you did not get one so that you can refer to it. The big thing is that student information form. I am not considering anybody a part of this cast until I get that in my hand. It's very, very important that we know what's going on with your child. And student safety is number 1. We can't have sheets missing, and then something happens during a show and we have no way to get in contact with you. And then we're frantically looking up an Infinite Campus. We have a notebook, it's alphabetical, it's there, boom, and then if there's an issue, we can get a hold of you right away. Please read the directions on the forms that you have. Send forms and payment in with your child in a timely manner. That will be discussed at a later time as well. And another thing, please be on time for drop-off and pick-up. I end my rehearsals on time. Very rarely do we go over. I can't remember a time that we've gone over, except maybe during tech week if something funky happened tech-wise and I'm 10 minutes late. So we pride ourselves on making sure that we're running things efficiently, and you need to be there to pick up your child because we need to go home too. Sometimes we're here till 11 o'clock at night that week, sometimes regular week. And then please look at that rehearsal schedule too. Nothing's out yet for rehearsal schedule. It won't be out until we need to get through the concerts. Yes, we do. We're going to do that in the next couple of weeks. And then we'll start all things show. Of course, if you have questions, feel free to email me. I'm pretty good about answering my emails very quickly. Please communicate conflicts or illnesses. We do take attendance at every single rehearsal. So if it's like a school rehearsal, usually we know who's absent from school. We can just check in on campus. But on those Saturday rehearsals, sometimes there's a family's you're going to take a trip, or somebody's going to be at grandma's house, and then sometimes switching between homes too. Just let us know about those conflicts. Sometimes that's unavoidable, and we understand that. And please do not send your child sick. Keep our germs to ourselves. That's what we're going to do. Please send in payments ASAP. We are working to stream many of them through My School Bucks. I have a meeting about that this week. Hopefully that's helpful to you. We're just trying to make it easier for you so you're not sending in 1 million different payments at 1 million different times and trying to keep track of what in the world you paid for. So we're trying really hard to streamline that. We're just working on that right now. So you have all the forms in there, but then things will start to pop up on the website. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Crystal. Understand that all other payments besides the costume fee. Costume fee is required. It's $10. All other payments are optional, but please you need to know that cast meals is an option, but you still have to feed your child. Just making sure you know that. So that word optional, I was like, oh, we have to make sure that, yes, send in a sack lunch with them for the show. And volunteer. Yes, we need help volunteering, and we're not asking this time. We're demanding nicely. Yes, we are. It's all about teamwork. To put a job of this caliber on the backs of a few is just not right. And it's happened before, and this is a big show. There's flying in this show, and there's a lot of little jobs that add up to the big job. So every little detail helps, no matter how big or small. That's something that we're requiring. Every family needs to commit to a few or more. And I even said a few. We're talking 8. So that sounds scary, but in the course of 3 months, that's not a lot of time at all. So there's a ton of different jobs and at different times of the day, because we know that people have different work schedules. It's not just during the day. We understand that. And you're certainly welcome to come in during the day. If you work at night, you want to come in for an hour, do something in costumes, we'll make those arrangements for you. Okay. Oh, here we go. You ask, how can we get involved? We'll tell you all about it. Check out the next several slides. There's the tech crew. Our tech crew folks who are helping us out. If you guys want to stand real quick, Jean McCracken and Mary Dallin are our tech crew folks. They're going to make their way out to the back. If there's something that you have a question on with regard to tech crew, there's all these lovely tables set up back there for all of these committees. And when we disperse and you don't have questions for the directors, you are certainly welcome to go out and sign up because they're here. We're ready to take names and answer questions that you have. So there's a ton of things. It's not just putting a hammer down on a nail. There's gluing, painting, things that I can glue. I'm good at gluing. Don't ask me to sew. Well, I can sew a button up after that. Oh, it's so bad. It's not where my tailor lies. And we all have tailors. Okay, next slide, please. Costumes. Stephanie Schmidt is our chair. She's also an alum of Athena. She is not here today. She's doing another show because that's what she does. Jen Tuttle is the co-chair. We are looking for 1 or 2 more co-chairs to help out with costumes. Again, there's a lot with that as well. It's not just sewing, and it's not just girls, right? So, Jen, you are here. Do you want to talk about costumes? You are so welcome to. Please do.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, I am here on behalf of Stephanie and myself. We would love 1 to 2 more co-chairs. It's a fun group. We hang out in the costume room. And I know sewing in costume sounds intimidating, but you do not need to sew. We do lots of trying on costumes for our cast. We do lots of cutting and organizing and all sorts of things. So even if you're a non-sewer, I invite you to come spend the time. Usually these shows, we run about 450 to 500 costumes. So if you could imagine just Steph and I trying to do all of that, that's next to impossible. So your help is definitely needed. And like I said, you don't have to sew. We do ask for a costume fee. That is so that we can make sure everyone looks wonderful on stage. You will see notes, lots of communication from costumes over time to talk about what kinds of shoes to wear, what kind of socks, if we need, black pants, etc. You'll see those emails come out. So just try to keep an eye out for costume notes, and we should be able to help answer those questions. But volunteer, volunteer, volunteer. We have a great time in that costume room, and it's really fun to get to know the children trying things on and getting to know the cast. So please come help us. It's good stuff.
Tickets. Oh, I bet you have a lot of questions for tickets. Tammy Brannigan is our ticket chair. She has some information for you with regard to how to purchase these. We can go to the next slide. I will talk about that real quick. So there is a pre-sale for parents. You guys get first dibs. And that's on January 21st between 9 and 12. And Tammy's going to talk more about that in terms of numbers. So I do believe that in your handbook there is a flyer, and it's a 2-page flyer, like a front and a back, that's got the seating arrangements on it as well, so you can take a look at the seats and how they look in the theater. That's brand new. The ticket price went up. 7th and 8th grade parents, the ticket prices went up to $12. We are the only school, to my knowledge, in the district that gives money to children's charities. So we upped it because we have been at the same price for many, many years. And we're flying this year, and the flying cost is astronomical when I look at the bill. But at the same time, the last time we flew 4 years ago, it's not that much more than it was 4 years ago. So that's why I decided to do it, and it's really cool to see Mary and Bert and the kids fly, and maybe some other people, we'll see. But anyway, that's why the tickets are up. They're going to stay that price. I think it's fair as, inflation continues. That's life. It is still almost cheaper than a movie, depending on when you go. IMAX. Handicap seating can only be bought through Miss Tammy over here, so she's going to talk about all that good stuff, especially during pre-sale, I think.
Hello, everybody. The parent pre-sale will be on January 21st. In here, if you can rip this out and bring this with you, it will be the fastest, easiest way to handle the tickets. Ask your family, ask your friends. You can come and buy as many tickets as you like. The seating chart is in here. When you come in, we will show you the best available tickets at that time, and you can just figure out how many you want, and we can sit people however you need to. In the theater, there is handicap seating. There is actual spots for a wheelchair. We also have seating if you have a person in your life that needs a chair that they can get out of, like if they are in a wheelchair and can be moved into a chair. There are seats all through the theater that actually the armrest will open up and give them easier access. So contact me we can definitely talk about it at the parent pre-sale when you come in to purchase your tickets. And if you do need wheelchair tickets, you can contact me. The ticket email is GAMS, G-A-M-S, tickets@gmail.com. And that will be, I think, on the website, too, if you need to. We are selling tickets at the parent pre-sale. That's the best time to get them. You can also tell your friends and family that you can get them at Wegmans. And last year we sold them at Showtix also. This year we're actually opening up many more seats for Showtix. Last year they were all up in the balcony. This year they're all down in the front, in the back, everywhere. So they can sit right in their home and click on what seats they want to purchase and purchase them through that website. At Wegmans, they did change this last year. You can purchase your tickets Sunday to Friday. Friday at 4 o'clock, they shut down their system and no longer sell tickets for the weekend.
That's for the weekends of the shows only?
Yes, the weekends of the shows. So if a friend, family member, somebody you know wants tickets, if they go in Friday of the weekend of the show, a lot of times Wegmans will say, there's no tickets. There are tickets. Please come to the ticket booth out in front that night of the show or the 2 o'clock matinee, 1 o'clock matinee, and we can sell tickets. That's their ruling. They've changed it last year. So during the 2 weeks of the show, Sunday to Friday, you can purchase tickets, and then after Friday, you have to purchase them here. But that was very confusing last year. Please tell family and friends, yes, there's always tickets.
I'm Kim Cahill. I'm co-chairing tickets with Tammy, but I'm also the chair of tickets for the high school. So I just wanted to put in a plug. We're having our high school this year is doing Les Mis, and our parent pre-sale is next Saturday. So we would always love to have the middle school students and parents come out and support all the high schoolers as well, as Les Mis will be the first show opening at APAC here in the community. So there's flyers in the back for the pre-sale with the information on that, and that's going to be open to middle school and to the public from 11 to 1 next Saturday to get your tickets right back here in the ticket booth for that. So that's it. Thank you. Oh, and nursing, I am the exiting co-chair for nursing. Is Amy Reed here? Stand up, Amy Reed. Amy Reed is going to be taking over nursing services for the middle school for this year's production, and we'll keep her for next year's. I just want to, a few reminders. We're going to need some, not only nurses, but it could be EMT, LPN, RN, volunteers for each show. We need about 2 here at each show to just assist with any medical emergencies, illnesses, basic first aid stuff backstage with the kids. This is strictly volunteer. They don't pay the nurses or anything to be here on staff during the shows, but it's kind of critical because we've had some illness and injury and stuff before, so it's really imperative that parents are back there volunteering for that service. As Julie said, if your kid is sick, do not send them to rehearsal. We would rather have them miss 1 or 2 rehearsals than get the entire cast sick. So if your kid sounds like I do today, don't send them to rehearsal. Let them stay home to release great and understand. And the same thing goes for the shows. If your kid is sick with a fever during the show, they do have to stay home. And again, it's just communication. Let Julie, Courtney, any of the directors know why your child isn't coming, and it's absolutely excusable. Because it's not good when we've had years where illness has gone through the entire cast in 2 days, and we're dropping people like flies, including the director. So it's never good. Okay, thank you.
I missed opening night for Willy Wonka. Actually, I missed opening weekend. That's how bad it was. Ugh. Kids are coming, can I go home? I don't feel good. And they're right here. All week. No wonder. Yeah, so don't come to school sick, please. Okay, so we have a new person on sets this year. An Athena alum, Erik Hubbard, sitting over there. He is designing and he's lead construction this year as well, so he gets to work with all the older guys who've been around for a few years. When their kids graduated, and like your youngest, Charlie and I were back in the sound booth. He's our tech director. There he is, rising up. Woo! Charlie is our tech director. There he is. Charlie's our tech director, and your daughter graduated in 2008, or your son? Who did?
Son in 2010, daughter in 2012.
There you go, 2012, and he's still around. Crazy. Yeah, I know. And these guys built the sets that Erik and Courtney were in. So anyway, yes, there is opportunity if you have that experience in your background, or not even have experience in your background, you want to learn a few things. These guys are great to work with, really fun, and those are evening hours, just because during the day most people work, so we're kind of teaching, and he's also a tech teacher in the middle of the high school. So evening hours is when the sets really, really hunker down, usually between 5 and 10, but you don't have to be here the whole time. Okay, next. Props. Maxine Murphy is our chair for props. Adam's a senior this year, so she continued through after her youngest left middle school, and Maxine is extremely organized, and she would love some help. Yes, exactly. With props. Those little things that come on and off the stage that they use, like the chimney sweeps and all that fun stuff. She gets to be in charge of that. What they do is they work with the tech crew at scheduled sessions. They will please watch for your email. If she needs something donated, maybe you want to donate something or let us borrow something, watch for email. Maybe you know somebody who has a certain item that we can borrow that we can't somehow get our hands on. There's other ways to do it as well, but we're going to try to use our folks. That way it's in-house. We don't have to drive it over to Fairport or something. And then she helps coordinate with the student tech crew and works to set things up backstage before the show, in between acts, and then again after the show for the following show. So there is a lot of work to do with props, even making stuff. If you're crafty, that would be great. And your children can help you as well, as long as they don't have a rehearsal. Next slide, please. Sponsors. Again, we're flying this year, so the price of the show went up dramatically, and plus it costs to just run the show. There are rights and all this fun stuff, and the bill is pretty big. It is every year, but because of flying, poor Raylene, who's been with us for 4 years, where are you at? Are you in here? Or are you hiding? She's here. Yeah. Raylene LaBelle, raise your hand. She's in charge of sponsors. If you know or have a business that you would like to solicit to put an ad in our program, that would be great. In fact, we were talking earlier, if everybody sells an ad, no matter the size, we can get up to over $11,000 just from the cast members themselves. If you go out and solicit an ad from somebody that you know or a business that you know, you get your nails done somewhere, you get your hair done somewhere. Girls, sorry, I had to think about that because that's what we do. Or whatever business that you go out to do, we would love to have advertisement in the program for that. And are there letters that they can get their hands on today? There's a table back in the back, and you can pick up a sponsor letter so that the ad information is there for you as well. What am I forgetting with this? Anything? We are in desperate need of a title sponsor, and I think we also did a flying sponsor as well. Yeah. If you know anybody who's willing to donate a good chunk of change, Ray can talk to you about that. And you're like, ooh, they want to. Their image and logo gets to be put on our posters. Okay, so they're going to get like first dibs, title, like on the front of our program and everything. So they will be advertised all over the place because we're going to be not just here. We're going to be in the newspapers and on websites and all that good stuff because we go out into the media.
For publicity and for the ads, it can also be from a family, like congratulations too. So it can come from a family. It doesn't necessarily have to be a business for the ads in the program.
Right, so an example is, I know in years past, 8th grade parents have gotten, it doesn't have to just be 8th grade parents, please don't misunderstand me. Just an example, 8th grade parents got together. They've had their kids through since kindergarten. Oh, aren't they so cute? And they got to be in their last show together. And of course, they bawl after the last show. Last show, what are we going to do? I'm like, you're going to go and have fun in high school. That's what you're going to do. So, but that's how they are. They're so cute. Parents got together and just put like a full page or a half page ad in congratulating those students and listed them. We're so proud of you, blah, blah. So it doesn't have to just be businesses, and thank you for that. Yes, because I cannot remember everything. So that's another option, and that'll just get us more money. And another thing, going back to tickets, before we release our remaining tickets to Wegmans and Showtix, that is where we are pocketing the most money. So we can pay these bills. Your pre-sale allows us to keep every penny of that $12 so that we can pay these bills. So talk to your friends and family, and you can be the point person to buy these tickets on the 21st of January. And then don't forget, next Saturday, we got middle school kids and elementary school kids that are in Les Mis. They're part of Athena Middle and our feeder schools too, around the district. So cute they are. I got to help a little bit with that, so I'm a little biased for what can I say. It's so cute to see these kids in that high school show, and they're like this, huge eyes, like, oh my gosh, I'm working with the big kids. And the big kids are so nice. So Les Mis is going to be an outstanding show. I got to sit in the auditions, and so did Crystal. So you're going to love it. Go get those tickets from 11 to 1 next weekend. Yay. Okay, plug over. Publicity. Speaking of, Gretchen Vona is our publicity chair. We're looking for somebody to shadow her this year. Olivia is in 8th grade. And she gets to contact the newspapers and contact television stations for us. If you have any ins with media, please let Gretchen know. Maybe that's something that you could help with as part of your volunteering. If you know somebody, connections are great. And Gretchen takes care of all that. There's another slide. Yes, posters should be ready by the time we sell tickets to you guys. By the 21st. In fact, they're ready now. I just have to print them. But we're going to have them available for you to take. We are going to have a day. Couldn't tell you when yet. We have not set that up. Where we get to plaster posters everywhere. I don't know if anybody remembers the Shrek posters that were all along Maiden Lane. When we did that last year at Olympia, the second week of the show was like a field of green. It was great. But we need an army of parents to help put things up in businesses and all around town to advertise. I was leaving last year. I was leaving the stage from the last show of Shrek and walking down the aisle. And the lady came out, and I turned with her son, and I said, oh, did you enjoy the show? She goes, absolutely we did. We're not from here. I said, where are you from? She goes, we live in Canandaigua. We saw your poster in Wegmans. And I'm like, that is awesome. See these little things that she said, and I'm going to find out when your show is next year. I said, great, not a problem. So that just little things like that just make a huge difference, because people love to see theater in the city of Rochester. We are a very cultural community, and for that I'm very thankful. But just to keep in mind, you can't just plaster a poster on somebody's business without asking permission. So we don't want to make anybody angry with us, so we need to continue to be respectful. Gretchen can help out with that as well. That's why any questions can go through her. And this is a Disney show. Even if it wasn't a Disney show, we don't advertise in pubs or bars. So it's a middle school clean show, happy, and because it's Disney, it's a big no-no. Hair and makeup, we need chairs for that. There's probably a table out there. So what we're going to do, if somebody can kind of help me with this, is maybe put a sign-up sheet there. That's something that you want to get involved with, and the table's empty because nobody's there. You can certainly sign up for that. Somebody will contact you. We'll figure it out. So we do need help with hair and makeup this year. They're chairless with that, right? Okay, yes. There's also a volunteer form that you can check that as well. Thank you. Thank you for that, yes. Another one. Crystal's thinking.
This job, the hair and makeup thing, is not as daunting as you might think. I am the resident, braiding queen. I'd be more than happy to teach you how to braid. But there's other things, like putting some eyeshadow on kids or taking a sponge and putting a little blush on them. It's not as crazy as you might think. Yes, there are specific things that need to happen, but that room is a ton of fun. That's where I spend pre-show time doing stuff with the kids, so it's a really fun atmosphere to be in and get to bond with the kids in a different way than what the other jobs are. So consider being part of the hair and makeup team.
See, I love it. Yes, we need volunteers, but this is something that especially new parents to the show don't understand. What? My kid has to come with makeup? He's a boy. I know, but if your child doesn't wear makeup, they're going to be all washed out on stage. We won't be able to see their expression on their face. So there will be a specific document that's sent out in a timely fashion before the show that tells you what you need. And because of, what's the word I'm looking for? Sanitary reasons. Everybody needs to have their own. We don't share. Sharing is not caring in the makeup department. Blah. And people have different allergies, and you know your child better than anybody. So there's some basic makeup that you are going to be needing to buy. And most people buy it at, I don't know, below 5 below. Why did I just say that backwards? 5 below. And if your child has an allergies, go to the cheap stores and get the makeup, really, because it's just for a show. And that includes lipstick. It does. So, but they're going to tell you what exactly your child needs. We literally meet. We have a meeting for props. We talk all about props the entire show. We have a meeting with hair and makeup. I mean, we literally sit and talk about this for a few hours, and then that information is disseminated to you. Obviously, specific details next, please. Merchandise. I have a little thing to read. Barb Holzmacher. She's a 6th grade teacher here at Athena Middle. She's also a parent. Merchandise, she's looking up cute little things to be able to sell at the show. Keyword sell, not keep. Only because whatever we buy, we need to sell, so we don't have to pay it, be stuck with a bill. But merchandise in the form of clothing, because you sometimes see the sweatshirts and the cute pants and all that stuff. Are you? Yeah, she nodded. Yeah, I purposely didn't wear mine. It's just so overworn mine is. It will be available for purchase prior to the show. They're working with a new vendor this year and have many new and exciting offerings, from the traditional t-shirts and sweatshirts to yoga pants, dance tank tops, and more. Additional information will be coming within the next few weeks and shared with families and our cast and crew via email on the theater website and on paper flyers as well, so you can actually see the merchandise. Keep your eyes open, coming soon. She would like volunteers. Much of the behind-the-scenes work is nearly completed, so she did a lot of it. Her committee is very small, so if you sign up for this, please plan on signing up for 1 or 2 others as well. 1 or 2 other shows. I don't know what you're talking about. There are 2 ways, 1 or 2 committees. Thank you. See? I should have read this before. I just printed it. There are 2 ways you can help. Assistants will be needed to help distribute clothing orders once it arrives. Typically, we have a Saturday afternoon pickup after rehearsal. 4 people are needed for just a few hours. This year, everything will be ordered and paid for online, so we can try to catch kids at practices if parents can't make it to pick up that day. We'll give it to your child, which can be scary. We don't want them to lose it. Leftover orders can be picked up in her classroom before school, and the kids know where that is, and it'll be announced. Committee members are also put to work at shows. Now that we are back home in Athena, we will set up a merchandise booth. Volunteers are needed at each show to sell additional merchandise to our community patrons. We are open prior to the show, during intermission, and occasionally after the show. 2 to 4 people will be needed for each show to help assist with sales. You do not and will not have to work at every show, as a schedule will be made based on volunteers. That's why we ask that if you sign up for merchandise, You could also join other committees. That's clear now. It's very easy to help with flowers, concessions, chaperones, ushering as well. And that's just to name a few. If this sounds like something you'd enjoy, please sign up to be on the merchandise committee. She encourages you to get involved and experience many different aspects of the show. It's a great opportunity to learn and be part of all the work it takes to put together a high-quality Greece Athena Middle School theater production. We truly stand out in this community and are highly regarded. Join us, help out, make new friends, and just like the kids, have fun. Why not? Next. Love notes and bios. Kelly Larkin, my assistant, is right now chairing that. We need somebody to chair love notes. What can they expect for that besides setting something up? Oh, it'll be online. Yeah, it's basically pulling the information that we get online for love notes and what they are, if you're not sure what love notes are. It's a section in the program, it's called Love Notes, and then you can just write a one-sentence blurb to your child. It's also a moneymaker for us, too, so it's a little fee, and it's an advertisement in the program, and we get to say wonderful things about our kids and how Grandma's so proud and how Aunt Julie's so proud, and everybody's so proud of you. So you can actually put something in the program that's something that's nice to have as a memorabilia keepsake, and you can put in their cute little box that we all have for our kids. I was looking through stuff going, the time goes so fast. So please enjoy these times. I know it's crazy, but it goes fast. That's all I can tell you. Nurse, we already talked about, so there will be a table back in the back if you are what Kim was talking about, EMT, LPN, RN, all that good stuff. Want to help out with that, please go back to the table after the meeting. Okay. Teresa Kaiser is our lead chaperone person, right in front of my nose. You don't have to speak, but basically the word chaperone scares people. Please understand that between myself, Jason Fulkerson, Norma Vetter, Lori Shaw, those are all the administrators. Those three, not me. Crystal Robinson, people who are on staff, Courtney Larkin, who are district employees, it's our job to discipline those children. I just need another set of eyes, especially during shows. If there's an issue with a student, Mr. Fulkerson is so good about being very visible. He is like that during school, so if you ever chaperone and help out with sitting in a room and watching kids, which sounds horrible, it's not. It really isn't. They're there to do a job. They're excited. They bring stuff to work on. They bring little games to play, and sometimes they set up like little blankets. I'm talking about during the show. And they have their cute little area, and they wait for their next call, or they do a costume change. So rarely do we have issues, and if we do, you just have to tell us about it. It's not, you don't have to sit there and go, you got a detention. No. It's just, we need another set of eyes. And sometimes we need that during rehearsals when we start the big group rehearsals upstairs in the cafeteria. Sometimes we'll do full cast rehearsals where our charities come and they talk to the kids. Because there are 120 kids sitting there, I just need a set of eyes if there's some kid not feeling well and whatever. So we staff that, and Teresa's the person that staffs the chaperone. So please consider chaperoning. It's really not as scary as it sounds. It isn't, because we're really good about taking over if there's an issue. You just have to let us know. Then there's other things. There's a finance committee, sort of. It's actually not really a committee at the moment. Scott Hathaway, whose children are now in high school, you were looking for somebody to shadow him this year to take over finance. I don't know if you want to speak to something, feel free to do that. No, he's got to make no. Okay. It's about the money, and you get to get all involved in the accounting, but not do it. Does that make sense? I'm responsible for that. So it's all on us. It's just eyes to help me figure out how we're on budget, and this is what you can do differently or whatever. So it's just like another set of eyes, like the chaperone, but in finance, so you kind of have to have a clue. And Scott does. But please see Scott. That's something that you would like to look into, is shadowing him this year. He's a great guy, nice guy. And this can be actually fun too, running numbers, especially when they're high. Fly team. The tech crew will coordinate this. There are some guys that need to be, and I say guys loosely. I need girls too. To fly a child, you have to be physically fit because otherwise, I couldn't imagine doing it. Like my back would go out. You think you're physically fit, and then what happens? I don't know. But we need consistent folks backstage to be trained by our fly guys who are coming from Illinois the week of March 6th. And that just has to be consistent backstage. But if there's a girl in a harness, I would like to have a woman with her. Because the harnesses are very close to body parts, and if there's an adjustment that is needed, love to have the females with the females, males with the males. I do have, Jean has stepped in the crack end because she's our backstage person, but wouldn't it be cool to have a parent back there as well? Because not necessarily the more the merrier with flying, but it has to deal with consistency and safety. So that's one that requires a lot of. That's a commitment one. I'll say it that way. That's a commitment one. If you want to learn more about that, our tech folks can tell you how it's worked in the past. And I don't think I'm speaking out of turn, am I, Charlie? I've got the thumbs up, okay. So this is a serious one because it's all about safety, and there's no messing around when it comes to that. In fact, the parents have to sign off on stuff. Like it's all legal and stuff. And it's gone through the legal department here at the district, and we're set to go with that. Photography team, somebody to help put up the bulletin boards. If you walked past the security desk, which probably isn't up on a Saturday, the bulletin board is ready for Les Mis. I need somebody to set that up, set some bulletin boards out here in the atrium, and there's a mall board where we put the kids' pictures up and we get to advertise the show in the mall. So that needs to be dealt with photography. We do have a photographer that takes pictures for our kids for the show, and there is a CD that you can purchase. This year you can purchase it and it can be mailed to you. We decided to do that this year, than giving them to me and people not picking them up, and I still have a few from last year. Our photography day is January 7th, where the cast pictures will happen. We will get that information out to you as far as...
Everybody's going to need a white shirt, no graphics, long sleeve, 3/4 length at most, not short sleeve.
Long sleeve white shirt, no graphics, black pants. Okay. And that information will come out January 7th as our photography day, where Allison's going to take the pictures of our kids in groups and the leads and the supporting actors. Yay! Okay. House manager. We need 1 to 2 people to do this during the shows. Mike, do you want to talk about the house manager position? Because Mike is our production coordinator. This is his last year as well. And he does have a shadow already. So I'm thankful. There it is. There it is. You didn't lose it like you did.
6 more weeks of winter.
6 more weeks of winter. Anyway, you have all the lovely experience in the house management position. So if you could say a lot of...
So as Raylan pointed out, I never turned down an opportunity to speak. So thank you for that. House manager, the primary job of the house manager is to work with the orchestra, the tech director, to get the show started on time. They work with security to see who's coming in, to make sure if we have to hold the house for a few minutes, so that everything works out from a timing perspective. They also control when the shows start after the intermission, if we're kind of bogged down in concession, which has happened in the past. Normally we'll have like a 15 or 20-minute intermission. We might have to go a little bit longer. And the house manager helps to deal with all that. The other job of the house manager is to monitor the audience, and if there's any disruptive people in the audience, and I won't be in the audience, so if there's any disruptive people in the audience, people taking videos, flash photography, they'll either work with an usher or go and speak to the person directly. And then the other, I think, kind of fun part of the job is to walk around and monitor the dressing rooms. But no, the house manager is a fun job. He works closely with the productions coordinator. Actually, we kind of fill in a little bit on that role as well. The requirement for house manager is to wear a suit. You'll have a nice boutonniere or if you're a woman, dressed in some kind of floral arrangement, I'm sure. We've never had it. We've never had a female house manager. So please consider it.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Thanks, Mike. Other positions that may be needed, that's also, I believe, in your guidebook, the parent guidebook. Just an errand runner, we get stuck doing things, and there's a huge, huge list of things that occur, especially during Tech Week, that I just sit there on my phone and go, okay, I'll email myself to remember that. And if I could have somebody running an errand, that would be great. Usually there's some parents sitting back there when we're taking notes during Tech Week, what do you need? And I'll tell you what I need. So that's so important. Maybe something to call some parents for attendance. That should not just be on the attendance person. If we don't see a child in 3 weeks, what's going on? Just so you know, there was rehearsal. Did you miss an email? If for some reason you don't have email, let us know, because I put together folders for kids and hand it to them every week. Here's a folder. Go show mom. Take it home. Just the old-fashioned way, like when we were in school. Craftsmen, craftswomen, program design. Kelly right now is the person who does the entire program. Boy, would we love to have a parent to do that. And I'm sure you can speak to it. It's a big job. It's no joke. Yes, it would be nice if anybody likes to help, we can break it up into pieces. That's what she's saying. So too many is not good, but 1 or 2 would be great, because it's always on her, and she has a job as well, so don't yell. And then all that good stuff that you see there, these are all, they do have chairs, am I correct on that one? Yes, we do, that's why I put them there. But anything that you want to help with these, if that triggers your fancy, again, yes, volunteer required. Pick something that you know you'd be good at, or you know your schedule. We have children and we have responsibilities. I know that. My children are all grown, did it all. I've been there, done that, so I feel your pain, but it's a good pain. These are the growing pains, and it's for the good of the community, yes, because the cool thing is we are able to give money away every year. Since 1996, what's our figure? Almost 400,000. So that's awesome. And it's collectively everybody working together. It's awesome. So yes, just living day by day, one day at a time, that's all we can do, and reminding our kids. And yes, it gets frustrating. And it gets frustrating to us too, because we're human beings. But at the end of the day, when that curtain rises and you see your child up there, whether it's in a lead position, whether it's backstage, whether it's in an ensemble, and that orchestra's blaring and the whole thing comes together, and you're like, wow, that is really cool that my child can be part of that. So enjoy it, embrace it. This is a good thing, but just communicate. And you're going to have questions, and that's totally fine. Is there anything left? Dun, dun, dun. The production coordinator. Would you like to speak about that? He's better prepared for this, he says.
All right, I'm better prepared for this one. Obviously, you just saw a lot of information. You may feel particularly... How many parents out here are first-time participants in the program? How many of you have seen an Athena Middle School show? Probably everybody, right? As Julie has kind of clearly shown here, for us to put on a production, it takes a ton of help, and the more people we have, obviously the smoother it goes, and the less there is for each of us to do. We're hoping that you will all agree to volunteer to do something, because the last thing we want to do is try to slot people. But we're going to really try to enforce that this year. It'll just make things go smoothly. It'll keep you involved in the program. I can tell you, after being involved in this program this will be my 7th year, you meet so many nice people that you never knew existed. The kids that go through this program typically will continue with the musical programs as they move up into the high school, and you're going to get to know all of their friends. You're going to get to know the kind of kids that they hang around with. You're going to know their parents, and it's a great experience, I think, for you to be able to be participating in. And these kids love, even though they'll never tell you this, because I know this and I have too, they love to see their parents and their grandparents and their aunts and uncles come out and help. They'll never admit it, because they don't want you to know that they actually still love you, and it's important for you to be around for them. But it's important. And lastly, even though there's a lot of stuff that you all digested and it may feel overwhelming, the key to the success of our program is that we have fun. That's always been an underlying requirement. I know having fun is not always required, but in this case it is. And for you to be able to look back and realize that the fun activities that you participated in, you have great memories from it. The committees, I think we're going to really try to drive having meetings on a more regular basis. And so a lot of the stuff that Julie went over looked like they're going to be pulling you in all different directions, but we really wanted to try to organize it into smaller committees to make it easier for everybody too. So please come out and help us.
It's 11:53 and we are concluded with the formal portion of the meeting. If there's anybody that has a question that would be for the good of the group, that's not pinpointed to something specific, I will be glad to answer those questions, or try to. Is there anything right now that you can think of that you need to ask? As I look out, nothing specific. Go ahead. Can high school students still volunteer? Yes, they have to sign up and they have to talk to me. You're talking about for the shows themselves, for Tech Crew, what are you talking about? Tech Crew, yes. In fact, Tech Crew is out there. They are going to be putting information out to the high school students, and we were just discussing where we're putting that information so it's easy for them to get it. So they will be getting applications out. Yes. So the answer is yes, high school students can help with Tech Crew. So can middle school students. That's a complete application process, and more information will be happening with regard to that in the next few weeks, again, after winter concerts in 2 weeks. Yeah. Anything else at this point for the good of the group?
Can I just show them?
Yes. Oh, the website.
So in the parent book you've got, there's the link for our website. But if you're not sure where to find that without having that book with you 24/7, if you just go to the main Greece site, find Greece Athena Middle there in the schools. Then from here, you can go to school information. Whoops, I hit the wrong thing. And then you'll hit down here where it says music programs, school musical, and it will pop up this site, and right where my little hand sits is the link that will then take you to our Google site that has everything Mary Poppins living on it. And I will do my best to keep things up there as quickly as possible so that you always know what the new rehearsal schedule is, or new forms, or whatever's happening, you should be able to find there. So that's our little web tutorial quickly.
Yes, thank you very much for doing that. Are there any other questions right now for the good of the group? Yes.
You did say that there are no rehearsals until after...
There are no rehearsals until after Christmas. Leads might. Sorry. I gotta meet with them because we have a lot to do. In fact, I have their scripts, and now I'm going to be copying music, so yeah. But not before the concerts. How about that? Is that helpful? Okay. And I only might do something until like 3:30. Anything else? Okay. There are tables back in the atrium for you to sign up for and talk with the groups. I am up here if you need to speak with me. Crystal's here. Courtney had to take off. Mike's here. Thank you, everybody, for your time.